welcome to my video course on public speaking. Now this isn't any ordinary course. It is a special course based on role play. Here's the role play. I am a police chief and in my neighborhood there is a school hosting their Independence Day program in 1 week. And the principal of that school asked me to come and deliver a speech to their students. And you will be the front row audience in watching me prepare and deliver the speech in front of the students. You interested? Come on in. Now that we know that I am the police chief, I've been thinking about a topic to deliver to the students and a thought crossed my mind. You see, my childhood, it wasn't easy and I had to overcome a lot of failures to get where I am today. So I chose the topic, how to overcome failures. Now, you may have a different situation where you have to speak. So I'm going to give you inputs on how you can choose a topic for your speech. Number 1. Base the topic on your target audience. You may be giving a TEDx talk where all the people listening are from the public. Or you may be talking to all the executives of one company. Or you may be talking to all the doctors of one city. So base the topic on the people who are listening. Number 2. Base your topic on the current times. Think about what people of the current times can relate to and base your topic on that. For example, you can talk about the benefits of online learning, which people of this time very much relate to. Number 3. Choose a topic based on your life experience or that of another famous person. Here's what I want you to do. Pick up your favorite topic and put it in the comment box below. I would greatly appreciate that. Now let us talk about the different types of speeches. A lot of people have this question in their mind. What is the difference between a motivational and an inspirational speech? Let us first look at an inspirational speech. An inspirational speech is a speech that pulls people to do something. For example, I could give a speech to inspire people to join the army. On the other hand, motivational speech is something that pushes people to achieve something. For example, I could give a speech to the Olympic participants to push them to achieve the gold medal. The third type of speech is a competitive speech. There are two types of competitive speeches. The first one is the oratorial speech and the second is the debate. An oratorial speech is where a person is given a topic beforehand and then prepares and then delivers the speech. The other one is the debate. The debate is where a person speaks for or against one particular topic. The fourth type of speech is an impromptu speech. An impromptu speech is where a topic is given on the spot and you deliver a speech without preparation. The fifth type is a persuasive speech. A persuasive speech is where you influence someone to make a decision. For example, a politician can give a speech to make you follow their agenda. The other example would be a salesman giving a sales pitch to influence the purchase decision of his customer. The sixth type of speech is a business presentation. For example, you sharing the results with your boss or the board of directors. The seventh type of speech is the announcement. For example, a newsreader reading the daily news. The eighth type of speech is a speech given during special occasions. There are many types of speeches for special occasions, but I'll tell you the four most important ones. The first one is a toast. For example, at a dinner table, you lift up your glass and say something good. The second one is a valedictory speech, which is a farewell speech with a positive message given by a distinguished student. The third one is a goodbye speech. For example, a parting speech given by an employee when leaving a company. The last one is a eulogy, a speech praising a person who just passed away. I hope you got a good idea on the types of speeches. Next, we'll be looking at the steps involved in writing a script. Many of you may have this question. Should I even write a script for my speech? My answer to that is yes, you should write a script, especially for beginners. Here are the advantages of writing a script. Number 1, it helps you structure your speech. Number 2, it helps you avoid saying something you'll regret later. Number 3, it helps you avoid brain freeze. Number 4, it gives you more ideas for your script. We often want to put all the things on our mind into the script. But we must keep the audience in mind because they can only take so much. So 3 key takeaways would be ideal. Now here are the 3 key takeaways I'm going to deliver in my speech. Number 1. All human beings, including famous people, go through failures in their lives. Number 2. How to pick yourself up in times of failure. I'll give examples on things I did in times of my failures. Number 3. The importance of giving back to society. Now, I want you to think about the 3 key takeaways you'll have in your speech. The next step is for us to estimate the total number of words we'll have in our script. We'll use 2 factors to calculate the number of words. The first one is the duration of your speech in minutes. The second one is the number of words you speak per minute on an average. Let's say you speak 100 words per minute and the duration of your speech is 10 minutes. Then you will have 1,000 words in your script. Now let's look at the structure of our speech. I'm going to explain this to you with a simple analogy. Let's take the example of painting a wall. First, we'll have to prepare the wall. Next, we'll have to apply a coat of paint on it. And then we have to apply a finishing coat of paint on the wall. Similarly, we will have an introduction where we capture the attention of the audience. This is called a hook. Followed by this, we'll have the body of our script where we will list the 3 key takeaways. Finally, we'll have the conclusion where we reiterate the 3 key takeaways and end on a positive note. Let me give you some tips in putting together a strong script. Stories can capture the imagination of your audience, so try adding stories in your script. Quoting famous people can make your speech relatable, so try adding quotes in your speech. Infusing a bit of humor can engage the audience, but a word of caution: making humor work takes practice. Open up your vulnerabilities in front of the audience. Showing your vulnerability makes you human and the audience will love you for that. I prefer to use simple words and avoid jargons in my speech. You may have a situation where you need to showcase your English skills in your speech. Well, I have a suggestion for you. First, begin your script with simple words and then use a dictionary to find synonyms for some of the words and then replace them with complex words. Let me give you some don'ts when it comes to writing your script. Don't write your script thinking that you will inspire the audience. Rather, write your script with strong messages that will in turn inspire your audience. Unless your speech is a sales presentation, don't turn your speech into a sales pitch. Rather, add value through your message and your audience will come after you. Unless your speech is about your company, don't boast too much about your organization. Your audience will lose interest. Once you are done writing your script, the next step is to edit your script. You can either use the help of another person or you can use a tool like Grammarly. Once you are done editing your script, take a few bullet points that will help you remember the script. Print it on a page and keep it handy. I hope you got a few good inputs in writing your script. Next, we'll look at the various aspects of delivering your speech on stage. When we prepare for on-stage delivery, the first thing we need to look at is our appearance. It is always better to check with the event organizers beforehand and dress appropriately for the occasion. For example, you may be speaking at a black tie event and you might not be aware of that. Now let's talk about body language. Did you know you can convey emotions through body language? There are a couple of things you should avoid when it comes to body language. Number 1, don't fold your hands. When you fold your hands, it conveys that you are nervous or you do not want to connect with the audience. Number 2, avoid putting your hands in your pockets. It will distract the audience and the audience will find it difficult to follow your message. Number 3, avoid slouching and try to stand erect throughout your speech. Next, let's talk about hand gestures. You would have noticed how I used both my hands throughout the course. Use both your hands freely and also use appropriate gestures depending on what you are speaking. For example, if you are listing things, use your hand to count 1, 2, 3 as you are listing the items. That way, the audience will be able to easily follow what you're saying. Here's a bonus tip. Showing both your palms while you are speaking along with your other hand gestures shows that you are a person of integrity and you have nothing to hide. Now let's talk about facial expressions. Your face is the secret weapon to conveying emotions directly to your audience. For example, sad, happy, anxiety, disappointment, excitement. If you want to be a top-notch professional speaker, you got to practice these emotions until you perfect them. Now let's talk about voice modulation. For example, if you're showing excitement in your speech, make sure your voice reflects that. When you're in the business of public speaking, taking care of your voice is of utmost importance. When you're on stage in front of thousands of people, you have to be filled with high energy so that the message can be delivered with power. Take appropriate care of your diet and sleep so that you can have high energy when you're on stage. Now, let's talk about pauses. Have you heard of the quote that silence is golden? This is applicable to public speaking as well. Use long pauses at the end of sentences where you have given completely new information. That way, the audience can process what you just said. Ensure that you have enough breath to complete your sentence. You can also use pauses to breathe in to make sure that you have enough breath to complete your sentence. One of the most important aspects of connecting with your audience is having eye contact with them. There are different strategies for scanning through the audience to make it look like you have eye contact with each and every one of them. It is easier if you are in a small room. You can scan the audience row by row. And by scanning, I mean to have eye contact with each and every one of them for less than 1 second to show that you are connected with them. When you're speaking in a larger hall, it could either be one floor or one floor with one or more balconies. In this case, it is not possible for you to scan everybody row by row. So, you can divide the audience into left and right. And then you can go to the left side of the stage and scan the audience in an S form. And then you can go to the right side of the stage and scan the audience in another S form. And then you can look to the balconies and scan the audience. This way, everybody feels connected to you. Now let's talk about audience interactions. You can pick 1 or 2 people from the front rows and ask them questions like what their name is, where they live, and what they do. This way, everybody in the audience can feel this personal connect with you. There might be certain occasions where you have to post questions to the audience. In this situation, you can call these 1 or 2 people by their names and post these questions to them. Before you begin your speech, it's always better to check your mic by asking the people at the back row to raise their hand if they can hear you well. I hope you got enough inputs on delivering your speech on stage. Next, we'll be looking at handling questions and answers. Let's talk about handling questions and answers. Depending on whether you're a beginner or an expert at public speaking, you may want to handle the questions and answers differently. When you're an expert, after your speech is done, you open the floor for questions. You go to the front of the stage and you say, Bring it on. If you're a beginner, here's what you can do. You can either source the questions before the event, during the event, or both. When you're familiar with the audience, you can ask them to directly email you the question beforehand. If that's not the case, you can work with the event organizers to source the questions for you. Then you can go through the questions and pick the ones you are comfortable answering. Before you start the Q&A session, ensure that there are people on the floor with mics in their hands to go around and distribute them. There may be cases where everyone in the audience may not have heard the question properly. The first thing you do in this case is to ask the person to hold the mic closer to their mouth and repeat the question. If it still doesn't work, you can repeat the question and then go about answering it. Always be honest with your answers. If you do not know an answer, tell them that it's not on the top of your mind and that you will get back to them later. The secret to being confident during the Q&A session is to prepare well beforehand. I hope you're ready to take the Q&A session by its horns. Next, we'll be looking at rehearsing before delivering the speech. Now let's look at the various ideas for rehearsals. The first step is to deliver your speech in front of a mirror. Pay close attention to your body language, hand gestures, and your facial expressions. Repeat it multiple times till you're confident before you move to the next step. The next step is to record yourself in a mobile phone and do it repeatedly until you're confident of your voice modulation and pauses. Once you're confident, record your speech once again and send it to your close friends for feedback. Be open to critical feedback. Understand that it is for your own good. Incorporate the changes into your speech and rehearse it a couple of more times. Now you're ready to deliver your speech on stage. And so am I. Are you excited to hear my speech? That's what's coming up next. Dear principal, teachers, and my dear students, at the very outset, let me give my gratitude to the principal for inviting me to participate in your Independence Day celebration. Children, let me ask you a question. How many of you want to succeed in life? Excellent. You? Yeah, that boy? Yeah. You raised your hand really quickly. What is your name? David. That's amazing. What class are you in? Ninth. Okay, that's great. Now let me ask you another question. How many of you want to know the secret to success? Wait, you? The third girl, front row? Yeah. No, not you. You? You raised your hand really quickly. What is your name? Anne. That's amazing. What class are you in? Seventh. Great. I have learned from my life lessons that the secret to success is failure. It may sound counterintuitive. Let me explain. Anyone who comes and tells you that they have achieved success without going through failures is lying. Every successful person has gone through many failures in their journey to success. Let me give you some examples of famous people who have experienced failures. David, let me ask you a question. Do you like Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse? I thought so. Let me ask all of you another question. How many of you know who created the Mickey Mouse cartoon? That's right. The person who created the Mickey Mouse cartoon is Walt Disney. During the start of his career, Walt got fired from his job because his boss thought that he did not have enough creativity. That did not stop Walt Disney from creating a full-length cartoon called Snow White. It went on to be a blockbuster, earning him millions of dollars. And let me ask you a question. Do you know who wrote the Harry Potter series? That's right, it's J.K. Rowling. Do you all know that 12 publishers rejected the book Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone before it was published? That did not stop her from writing more books. Forbes magazine named J.K. Rowling as the first author billionaire. David, let me ask you another question. Do you know who invented the light bulb? You're not sure? Okay, Anne, how about you? That's right, it's Thomas Alva Edison. While Thomas Edison was in school, his teacher said that he was too stupid to learn anything. Edison got fired from the first two jobs for being non-productive. These failures did not stop him from becoming an inventor. While Edison was working on the light bulb, he failed 1000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. When a reporter asked him how he felt when he failed 1000 times, Edison replied, "I have not failed 1000 times. I have just found 1000 ways that the light bulb will not work." That's right, my dear children. Every failure you come across in your life is your stepping stone to success. But remember two things when you fail. Number one, pick yourself up and keep moving forward. Number two, don't forget to learn your lesson from the failure. There is no better teacher in this world than the lessons you learn from your failures. As long as you do these two things correctly, every failure will act as your stepping stone to success. I've had my share of failures in life. Let me give you one instance. I used to sing very well in school, taking part in all the school's singing competitions. When I was in the 8th grade, I won my school's singing competition. Because of that, I was selected to represent my school in the district level singing competition that was 4 weeks away. I had continuously practiced every day at that time. I only had 1 week to go for the finals when I had to attend one of my relatives' wedding. It happened to be an Indian wedding, and it was customary to serve betel leaves and nuts at the end of the wedding. Out of curiosity, I took a betel nut and put it in my mouth, even though children were not supposed to eat it. It did not taste very well, so I spit it out and went back home with my parents. When I woke up in the morning, I realized that I couldn't complete one sentence without stammering. I later learned that stammering is a side effect of eating betel nuts, which makes the tongue thick, especially in children. I could not take part in the district level competition, so I had to withdraw and let the second place winner from my school take part on my behalf. I was heartbroken, but I learned two lessons that day. Number one, stay away from any substance or food that may harm your body. Number two, don't lose hope in times of failure. In about 2 months, my stammering went away on its own and I could sing again. The following year, I won my school competition, participated in the district competition, and won the gold medal for my school. I went on to win the gold medal in the succeeding 3 years as well, and I have never forgotten that lesson till this day. Failures are your stepping stones to success. The beauty of being in school is that you meet children of your age from different backgrounds. Some of them may be rich, some may be poor. But always remember that there will be weaker and needy people in the world when compared to what you have. Always look around you and see if you can help someone in any small way possible. When each of us give back to society, even in the smallest of ways possible, we are making this world a much better place to live in. Children, Let me summarize my message to you. Number 1. Everyone goes through failures in their life. Number 2. Always pick yourself up after your failures and keep moving forward. Number 3. Give back to society in whatever way possible. You have been such a wonderful audience, children. My heartfelt gratitude to all teachers present here for giving you their knowledge and taking good care of you. I would like to thank your principal once again for giving me this opportunity. I wish you all a bright future and lots of valuable lessons on your road to success. I wish you all a happy Independence Day. I hope you found immense value in this course. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Now I have a favor to ask you. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button to get notified when my next video comes out. Can you do that? Until we meet again in my next video, take care, bye bye.